Hi, and welcome to the course. I'm Joseph Phillips. I'll be your instructor throughout this course where we prepare you to pass the PMP exam. In this first section, we're going to build a strong foundation of what we're going to talk about in the remainder of the course, and we'll talk about what exactly you can expect as you prepare to pass your exam. So we'll be looking at the PMP exam details, the application process. What happens if you get an audit, which can happen, but not everyone gets audited. We'll look at the PMP exam domains, what you can expect on your exam. We're going to spend some time looking at the PMP exam content outline. This is what your exam is based on. Not the PMBOK guide, not some study book, not this course, the PMP exam content outline. And that's, well, what we've built this course on. We'll also look at the exam references that PMI uses to build the exam. So how did they come up with the questions in the exam content outline? And then in every section throughout this course, I'll share with you my top 10 tips on that particular topic. So I'll have some tips for you as you work towards earning your PMP. Now throughout this course, I want to encourage you to take lots of notes, but don't take so many notes that you're writing everything down that I say. That's not going to be beneficial to you. I encourage you to write down notes when you hear key terms or you hear a word or a phrase you're not familiar with that you want to do a little bit more research on. So you can use the slides that I include in this course as a resource, download those and jot notes on that. That's a great idea. There are a lot of slides that you'll see throughout this course. So you may not want to print those out, but maybe you can print out just the sections that you need. I want to make this as easy on you as possible without creating more stress as you work towards passing your exam. The real secret, not that there is a secret, to passing the PMP is to remain dedicated to the task of the preparation. We like to say in project management that projects fail at the beginning, not the end. Oftentimes it's the same way when I meet people preparing to pass their PMP. That they don't have this mindset that you may have noticed I've said over and over already, and that is preparing to pass the PMP, not preparing to take the PMP. I believe there's a big difference in the mindset that you have when it comes to passing any exam. That you are not going to take the PMP, you're going to pass the PMP. That we need a positive mental attitude. And that's something that I've incorporated throughout this course that you'll see over and over, and we're going to use that idea of you're preparing to pass the PMP. This is a course on how to pass the PMP exam. Now there will be lots of information that you can use, and I hope that you use in your career as a project manager. But this is not a course on how to do project management. This is a course on how to pass the PMP exam. So there'll be lots of topics throughout this course that you may not use in your day-to-day life as a project manager. But I imagine there will be lots of things that you will do as a project manager or you have done as a project manager. But for your exam, the depth of knowledge, the width of knowledge, I should say, is really wide. So you have to know all of the exam details and all of the exam topics in order to pass, even if you don't use those particular approaches or processes or terminology. That you have to answer the exam based on what I'm covering in this course and what you'll see on the exam content outline. So keep that mindset that this isn't how to do project management. It's how to pass the exam. So when you come across a term or a concept or an idea, and you might say in your head, well, that's not how I do it where I work, or that's not how I would do it as a project manager. It's perfectly fine. There are lots of different approaches to project management. However, for your exam, this is how you do it. I've been teaching the PMP since 2003. I've written several books on project management. So you're in good hands as we move through this course, that I want you to pass the PMP, and I'm going to help you do it. All right, keep moving forward.